Well, look, I've been working with AdSquad for a little bit over a year now, and very, very happy with everything. And I'm going to go into some of those details. Obviously, the most important thing is results, and I'm going to get to that last. But I've worked in technology and professional services, for the best part of 20 or 30 years. And I have a big focus on making sure that projects are run correctly. There's proper organization, proper lines of communication, and things like that. Because anyone can be smart at doing a technical task, but to actually run a business and have multiple people doing multiple things and all pulling together to actually get the results that need to be achieved, that's what separates someone who happens to be technically smart from someone who can actually run a business and get results for a client. So, gold star to AdSquad for having the appropriate team and the appropriate structure around my account to be able to get the results that, we need to get. The professionalism is really there in that regard and in a lot of other ways, but just the little things like there's a project manager on my account who diligently documents the meeting minutes for every meeting that we have and talks about the action items and makes sure those action items gets followed up on. If I have a question or an issue or something that can't be resolved on the call, it'll get tracked down, it'll get responded to, it'll get dealt with. Little things like that. I'm a busy guy. I don't have a lot of time. So, I need things to be organized. I need things to get dealt with. The structure around the team really helps with that. Obviously there's a technical person who actually does a lot of the work. Johann's great, gets good results, and always have an escalation point to Justin, the owner and I believe founder of the company. Anytime there's an issue that for whatever reason the team can't handle, or I think like, hey, look, I need to talk about this with Justin. It's really, really important this gets done. I've got that escalation point and, contact should I ever need that as well. So really good structure, really good team, really good professionalism, really good organization. That's one of the first things I'll say. And I guess just jumping to results. At the end of the day, we've got to get results. If things are really organized and put together well, but you don't get good results, what's the point? And I'm very happy to say, I'm sure very happy to hear that, we are getting good results from working together. So, we've got a good cost per lead. We get the results that we need. I work in real estate investments, and we have to raise money, and there's a huge risk that if we don't raise enough money, we lose really significant deposits. So it's very high stakes that we are getting a certain amount of, effectively sales within a short period of time. And if we're not achieving that goal and we come up short in terms of the capital raised, we lose really significant deposits. So very high risk industry and a really important, you really need to perform. So it's great to have AdSquad behind us, getting those results, making sure we do perform. And something else we talked about in a prior video that didn't quite get recorded properly, or there was an issue with it, I don't know, cut that bit out maybe, there's a lot of competition in my industry. It really ramps up. It's been ramping up significantly for the last few years. And without going into the details, too much, because everyone's industry has competition, everyone's different, but, maybe we're not like selling, cutting boards or knives or like a commodity product that, you've just got to be really good and find a niche and you need to adapt a little bit. Like our industry, there's a lot of people jumping in on, what we're doing. And because of that, we have to fight for eyeballs on Facebook. And that gets increasingly challenged. So you have to put up better creatives. You have to do better targeting. You've got to rely on the data, all sorts of stuff like that. You can't just do the same thing and expect that it's going to work. So, very happy with AdSquad for, staying current with the industry, leveling up and continuing to get results in challenging times. And that's really it. I'm going to leave it there. Hopefully you guys can cut this into something helpful. If you want me to take another swing at this, give me some guidance, I'm happy. It only takes like 5 minutes for me to do something like this if we, if I've got, good guidance. But hopefully this helps. Thanks.